Behind the friendly face of Kolapo, a monster waited to strike. This is the story of Kolapo, the boy everyone trusted, who turned out to be the monster no one saw coming. Kolapo was born in a small town in southwestern Nigeria, a place where people shared food, pain, and poverty in equal measure. He was known for being kind, always smiling, the type of boy who would give away his last meal without hesitation. People said he was raised well, that he has a good heart. He grew up with friends like Segun, strong, loyal boys who stuck together through hard times. They fetched water, climbed mango trees, and went fishing by the river. They were poor but content. Everyone in the village loved Kolapo. No one suspected him, not even when things began to change. It started small. First, a clean new shirt, then sandals, then a phone. When people asked, he said his uncle from Lagos had sent them, but soon it was a brand new motorbike. Then a freshly painted house on the edge of the village. People whispered blessings in his name. God has remembered Kolapo, they said. He deserves it. He gave out money to children and elders, helped widows fix their leaking roofs, donated to the church. But those who looked closely, they saw the cracks. He never had an uncle in Lagos. He never left the village. So where was the money coming from? And why were people disappearing? Aduni, gone. Then Babatayo, gone. Then Segun. That's when the story took its darkest turn. A man from the village, someone who had known Kolapo since they were boys, began to suspect something was wrong. He noticed Kolapo going into the forest late at night, always carrying a black nylon bag, always wearing gloves. Gloves in that kind of heat? One night, the man followed him, through bush paths, past the river, deep into the trees. Kolapo walked for nearly an hour before stopping at a hidden shack. Inside, a lantern flickered. There was a groan, then a scream. The man crept closer, peeked through a gap in the wooden wall, and there he saw it. Kolapo standing over Segun, cutting him methodically. The floor was soaked in blood. The air smelled of rot. Segun was still breathing, and Kolapo, calm, focused, whispering numbers under his breath, as if doing calculations. That man couldn't move, couldn't scream. He just stayed hidden until morning. Kolapo was selling human parts. He had customers, rich men from the city, politicians, ritualists, occultists. They believed youth brought power, that the body of a strong man could buy success, influence, long life. Kolapo was their supplier. He stored body parts in coolers, sealed them in black bags, sold them under the cover of night. He wasn't working alone. There were others, but he was the face of it, the one who made it all possible, the kind boy turned butcher. When the man who followed him began to piece it all together, he knew the truth had come out. But how do you expose someone the whole village praises? He told the village chief, led by the hunters to the shack. They found it, just as he described, the table, the blood, what was left of Segun. They waited. They caught Kolapo with a fresh bag of organs in his hands. And then he didn't flinch. As they tied his hands, he looked them in the eye and said, "You beg for God's blessings, I take mine." The villagers couldn't speak, couldn't understand it. The boy they loved was a killer. The story spread like wildfire. Then, like all things too horrible to carry, it went quiet. People stopped talking about it, pretended it never happened. But the silence doesn't change the truth. Kolapo's house still stands, abandoned at the edge of the village. Children avoid it. Elders spit when they pass it. Some say evil still lingers there. Others say it was just desperation that hunger broke him. But the man who saw it all, he never forgot. And he never forgave himself for not stopping it sooner. This is the tale of Kolapo, the butcher of friendship. Some monsters don't hide in the forest. They grow up beside us.
If you enjoyed this story, like, share, and subscribe.